Hi, welcome back to Renee Ruth Music.
Hi.
Hope everyone's doing well. Renee, how are you?
I'm fabulous. How are you?
I'm wonderful.
Yes, enjoying
this
this
nice weather.
weather update.
Weather update.
It's gonna be 80 degrees next week.
It's November. It's November,
We're
guys.
just not sure what's happening.
I don't understand this.
Look, there's clothes like in piles in the house. Chad's
We
like,
just can't put it away.
Chad's like, are you gonna handle this? I was like, when the weather handles itself.
When we
It's
figure
like,
out what's going on.
do I put the summer clothes on the chairs away, or are we like?
I mean, it's 80 next week. We can't.
I have no, and the
We
closets are not big enough, so
No.
it's just a thing. It's a thing.
It's
Anyway,
fine.
but back to
It's fine.
music either.
Right. So this is I love a good list.
Oh, tell us your list
love a
for
good
today.
list.
I know. So he was asking this morning, he's like, what should we talk about? And then he's like, I found.
I got it. It's gonna be good. So this I feel like is kind of fun because the article was actually written December 15th, 2021. And the article was 7 music industry trends that they're forecasting for 2022.
This year.
Yeah.
Mm.
So we're gonna talk about what those
What they
predictions
forecasted?
were
Oh, yeah.
and how they actually played out.
Oh,
Which will
yeah,
kind of be
for
fun.
reflection.
Yeah,
Okay,
and I'm
yeah.
like, okay, actually this did
Were they
happen, so-
smart? Okay, who forecasted this?
I don't
Oh,
know.
Chad, how are we supposed to reference these people?
It's fine. The
We'll find
link,
it later.
we will drop the link. We'll drop
find
the
it later.
article.
Babs, finally.
We'll find it. So the first one was that TikTok will become even more dominant.
Dang
which,
it.
Of course it has.
And I wanted it to die.
Yeah, no, yeah. It was so. I fought it for such a long time.
I
because
did
was
not.
like, no,
I
don't
refused
wanna
because
do
I heard it
this.
was like a China thing, and I'm like, I'm not supporting China. They're like the virus people, and then I was
Right.
like, I'm not supporting their TikToky thing. I was like, no, Instagram will prevail, and then like, yeah, and then here we are,
Here
like,
we are.
so let's start TikTok.
Right. Well, I mean, and just because it was. I just didn't really get into all. It was all the dances and all the everything that was going on. I was like, I just don't have time for this. But I actually now we're understanding that it's actually very useful.
But it's been different.
So-
It had to be fair. It's diversified since it first
It
started,
has.
because
Oh,
it
yeah.
was strongly dance
It was. That's all it was.
So,
So I
and
was
we
like,
were not
I'm
going to be
excited.
doing any dancing.
Right.
So, now it's kind of a amalgamation of things. Like, for example, if you go to my TikTok presently today, 11/4/22, the only thing there is Joshua watching a movie. My dog watching a movie. And
Hilarious.
and it's the only TikTok I post because I broke it. I literally posted my dog and then literally 343 views later and freaking, 11,000 comments and I have all these followers that think they're following a dog channel and I was really just trying to test it out.
Yeah, just
So I got frozen.
Yeah.
I mean, he went viral and I'm like, I don't know what to do. I so I'm frozen.
Yeah.
I will reboot,
We will reboot.
but
It'll be
Chad's
good.
trying to give me ideas and I'm still like,
Right. Well, I mean, and it's crazy because literally as of September 2021, there were 1 billion active users on TikTok,
yeah.
and it's even more now. So I mean, obviously, we're talking
It's a lot of humans.
a year later. So it's a great.
A lot of humans.
They said it's a great opportunity for viral videos and social media.
People are
explosion.
making a living off of this
Yeah,
thing.
so I
But
mean,
it's
for
the
artists,
same
it's
when
huge.
YouTube started.
Right.
It's just, this actually reminds me of, I'm reading a lot of The Secret and the hero, the power, all that stuff. And they said all the same thing. They're like, if you want to be successful, you will be. And there's a vehicle for everyone. So don't feel bad if you feel like you missed whatever you're after, you will achieve it. You have to try a bunch of different things. So
Oh, you do.
yeah, so if you're not TikTok famous, it's okay, it'll be someone else.
Okay.
Yeah, somebody else will.
I just got on literally last month.
Right.
So,
and
I
someone
mean,
else will come along if it's
Exactly.
not. Yeah.
So you're just gonna have to roll the
Try the
punches.
doors.
Exactly. But it's been a huge thing for artists in particular, since it is so heavy on the music and the dancing. So really for any artist that's wanting to make a name, that's a great That's a
opportunity.
great way to get in and kind of get that traction. So number 2, sync deals and publishing will be a focus, which as we are already saying.
That was pre-pandemic for
Yeah.
me, but I remember I didn't hear about Sync period till 2019. But Sync has existed. I mean, it morphed a decade ago, maybe more.
Yeah.
But now it's become a trend. It's trending. So
Yeah, and you're starting to see a lot of movement with that as well. You're getting a little bit more focused on getting that out and kind of getting your name.
made a bunch of music,
Mhm.
and now it's okay. gotta get this music put somewhere. So it's, yeah, and realizing that it's that same thing we talked about in our other podcasts. You know, you can have everything, but if you don't do anything with it,
Right.
you just have a lot of things. It's like
Yeah.
you have to actually put things into motion for that, and you've got to do that. Like you can't wait for some magical thing to come into
Well,
motion.
exactly. And so often, music now needs to be attached to something.
Which
So-
you found, like you've been making your TikToks. Like one of his most successful ones, he tied this song to it, and it just went, you
Just
know. And
exploded.
the song was so perfect for it. Too.
Right, exactly. So
But
it's
that's the point. Sync is that like video always needs music,
Right.
which is why we'll always have jobs as musicians. So.
exactly, it'd be amazing. And so many of your songs would be so great to be attached
I
to
know.
that. So we just gotta,
We'll get one
We'll
day
get
you'll
that.
watch
We'll
this
get
and be
that.
like, they talked about
they
that.
talked about it, and now it's happening. Number 3, motion artwork takes over from the static image.
We're talking about video.
Which is, just so true. Like
I
everything's video now.
literally just told Bevs, who does all of these podcasts, so she's amazing. Shout out Bevs, she's in the
Bevs.
Philippines. And I was telling her, I was like, video's everything. Like
Yeah.
static images. We use static for quotes and stuff, but everybody
Mhm.
wants that like quick fix, like.
Yeah.
And then also they want to see the video, but they can't always listen. So having like the words.
It's having a caption on it now.
Yeah, which is why like we're doing lyric videos, you know, so you can't. And even the lyric videos, it's constant motion.
Right.
It's not
exactly.
lyric videos with a static background. Static is for the olden days.
Yeah, it's just static. It's kind of, literally even thumbnails can be video now. Like everything's
Like a
motion
10
now.
second.
Yeah, everything's.
Well, thanks to our live pictures.
Right?
Like
Well,
every photo you
exactly.
take is in motion.
Right. No, I mean it was crazy because you had mentioned the lyrics, and I was in a coaching group the other day, and one of the people on there was talking about how she wasn't comfortable being on camera yet, and we're like, but you can literally have like all the words coming up on the screen and still making a video, so it could still be tagged as a reel.
Without your
And
face.
Without your face having to be on it, but all your message is there, and you just attach the music to it, and now you have a video, because that's what people want to see. So like they don't want to have to be stuck with something static.
And
They
not
wanna
everybody
see
wants to see your face.
it. No, exactly, which is also fair.
Which has
So-
beautiful, they want to see his.
All right, number 4. This one I did not realize. Tipping becomes a more viable monetization method.
Did you say tipping?
Tipping.
So, pre-pandemic, there was a push for like a tip jar on live streaming. There's been a lot of issues. So like, live streaming became problematic because they were live streaming songs that were copywritten, and so you technically were like. We had a maybe a podcast, or there was somewhere I've talked about this, where it, in a cover situation, live has been nothing but trauma.
Wow.
Because it's just like at
No,
one
I guess that
point.
makes sense though.
No, at one point Facebook was shutting accounts down because people would just literally sit at home and cover people's stuff
Right.
and have people watching it and then have people paying them.
Yeah.
So there was a tip jar thing, and then they took the tip jar away because then it's also okay for you to use someone else's music as long as you're not making money. Like there's all very many rules that I don't pay a whole bunch of attention to because I was moving out of the cover scene. So I was like, I don't really want to live in that world anymore anyway. But there's always kind of been that tipping thing, like the ability, because at the end of the day, like I always think of musicians, they're kind of like the troubadours from Gilmore Girls. Like everyone's just playing, trying to make some
Right.
Someone tip me a little bit of money. Like it doesn't matter where they are. There's still like a hat out. Like, can you tip me? For my
Right.
So
Yeah.
I think, and I lived on tips too. Like, but we also were paid to gig. So like, there's a flat, and then we might get tipped.
Right.
So here, but yeah, if there's new ways to tip, I don't know about them.
Well, thanks to Anthony, because I did not know this. TikTok actually made the decision to include this feature again on lives. So on TikTok, you have to have 1,000 followers in order to do a live. But if you have that,
I'm
so
1,100 thanks to my
yeah,
dog.
so if you have that, it's called gifts. So when you start your live, there's actually an option to gift.
So could Fred and I do a live like from here on TikTok?
Yeah. So you could do a
Like
live.
a song. Now
Yeah,
the
so you
question
do your
is,
songs.
what does TikTok want to see? Like if I'm doing a live, do they just want to see one song? Do they want to see part of a song? Do they see a show? What is TikTok streaming live? I feel like we have to call Anthony to get it.
To find out, but I mean, the thing that we do know now about TikTok is that they are starting to promote longer videos. So I
Well,
think
because
it's
a
up-
song would be 3 to 4 minutes.
Right, so you could literally do 2
seconds.
songs if
That would be
everybody
like
wanted to
8
watch.
minutes.
So, and you would still be within your
When Fred comes back from
parameters.
Vegas. Okay, so guys,
So-
we're gonna update you next week. 'Cause
Yeah.
Fred comes back from Vegas in 4 days, and we're gonna try a TikTok live stream from the studio.
That would be so cool. I love that.
So whenever you're watching this, go find our TikToks.
Yeah.
Bevs, put all the stuff down below about that. And then yeah, so we'll try it out.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
That might be the great first TikTok.
There we go. No, that would be a great way to bring
Great
that.
first second TikTok.
Right, yeah, after that.
My dog! And I feel like because he was my first,
Right.
that audience is very dog driven. So I
Yeah.
told Bess, I feel like I'm gonna have to, and of course I'm not upset about this, I love him. But I feel like we're gonna have to like sprinkle Joshua, like, cause I don't wanna upset the dog followers in the
Yeah,
community.
no, that's fair. I think we could do that.
Just to keep it, so it'll be like, music, Joshua. Like the video of him playing with the concrete.
Yeah.
To music, we
To
were gonna
music,
do that.
right?
Right?
Yeah, I was gonna do
That could
that.
be another
Yeah,
one.
we'll do that one. That'd be perfect.
See, so much support.
All right, number 5, which this one is very obvious. We don't even have to talk about this one. Thirst for live concerts becomes greater, which it is.
I'm
We-
so thirsty.
Yeah, and we are seeing the concerts are back.
I
Like-
do almost feel like, and maybe because we're in a small town, I feel this way, because I actually had an agent or a client or somebody mention the fact that we were in a small town. Oh, skip this at this. But do you feel like I feel like it's like that's over. Like I feel like
Concerts?
no, the pandemic. Like I feel
Oh,
like I feel like we're
everything
back
is-
to normal.
Yeah, everything is normal again. Like, yeah,
Like,
I mean, like,
I almost don't think about COVID except when I got sick last week, or but you know, or you can't. Like I feel like I hear about it and it's out there. Like,
right, yeah, no, I mean, there's nothing that I've seen here that would indicate that we're in
or
anything.
even like I was just in Vegas. Like
Right.
there was no
No.
conversation about COVID.
I mean, when last time I flew to Florida, there was nothing indicating anything.
the only thing
So-
was on the plane, and I had to chuckle just a little bit. Can everyone listening please remember to just be kind? But the flight attendant was like, every flight started with, masks are no longer required on the plane, but please be kind to your neighbor if they choose to wear one or not wear one. And I was like,
Oh.
you literally have to say
I
that? I was
know,
like,
yes.
it's like children in a classroom where like behave. Like,
Right. It's true.
so if someone puts on a mask next to you, who cares? If they take it off, who cares? Like,
Just let everybody be.
just be
who they are.
nice.
Yeah.
Just have like that. They had so one flight attendant, and we were like chatting because I flew first class, which I'm always doing from now on. It's amazing.
Yes.
So amazing.
Love it.
But the flight, he came out before we even took off, and he just had his little speech, and he's like, "Would you like a drink?" I was like, "Yes, I'd like to know. Do you literally have to say it?" Like, I'm assuming that's part of your spiel because it's been a thing. He's like, "Oh, it's been a thing," and I was like. I'm like, why can't we all just be nice?
Seriously.
Just be
Oh,
nice.
thanks.
I know. Sorry, I just sidetracked.
No, you're good. Number 6, more online music teachers.
That's not a bad thing.
No, it was determined that more people were actually comfortable being on live video calls and Zoom seminars, so it became a great way for teachers to monetize. It is
Oh, like they taught in classes in real life, and now they're doing it online.
Right, so now they're doing it
another
online.
stream of income, or like
Right.
they decided not to go back to teaching. Or
Yeah.
I do think we're seeing a huge career shift. Like
yeah. So
watching
there's
people.
there's a lot more that you can do online now, and so that's become a really great additional stream of income for a musician that's
Yeah.
not quite where they need to be yet, so they can use that talent that they have to then teach others.
Oh yeah, that's
So-
like when I talked to Heather Evans, tag her, because she was helping me with sync stuff.
That's right. That's
So
right.
we zoomed and she shared her knowledge for a fee and was happy to pay it because I didn't have that knowledge.
Right.
Yeah.
Why would you not ever do that?
Do what?
You were a professor and you didn't teach music. I was very perplexed when I read this. I was like, why did Renee not do this? You taught for so many
You know
years
what's
and you never
so
did
funny
any music.
is I've clearly lived in like pockets of life because like I taught university and all my students had no idea I sang. and then like my singing community, like in when I was singing and playing with band, they had no idea that like I lived in these like little pockets and they did. And then the very confused, perplexed ones were the ones that knew I was so like. it would come up in a show that I was a university teacher, or at the time currently was.
Right.
And they would come and be like, so do you teach music? And when I was like, oh no. They're like, why? And so my minor was in music in undergrad. And then I went on, because you know why? Have you ever heard the phrase, those who can't do, teach?
Fair.
Right?
Yes.
I wanted to do the
Yeah.
thing. I wanted to do the thing. I didn't want to teach the thing. I wanted to do the thing.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
And I believed that, I don't like, please don't hear me if you're a teacher and you're like, I want to chase my dream. Like you should, like you should, and I'm not saying that, but I did have a feeling like if I went into that teaching, I don't even think it's that I think one of the reasons I've kept after is because if you start to teach, it's like you go home and it's the last thing you want. You know, like you're doing it all day, and then you go home and you're like, it's like the people that are chefs. Like they go home, the last thing they want to do is cook.
Right.
They cooked all day. So I think that's why when you move into kind of that teaching space, it becomes a thing that's harder to do for pleasure. And I never wanted to feel that way. So no, I never became a teacher of music, and I probably never will.
No, but it just, like I said, it just ended up becoming a great way for people to be able to.
No, not everybody
do that,
wants to chase the big dream
Right.
though.
And so it's a way to kind of help encourage others and kind of teach them along their way. To
Yeah,
do
whatever they're
so,
going for.
Yeah, absolutely. So, all right. So the last one is more artists will sell online experiences.
Oh, this is when he showed up at my house today to pick up Christmas stuff to decorate. He's like, I have such a great idea. He's like, this is what we're gonna do. And he's like, you can put your stuff in a space. I'm like, I'm literally thought like a physical space. So when you said it, I'm like, well, where's that?
Right? Yeah. So Cameo and Patreon are two great examples of ways to
You
do
did
this.
talk about Cameo.
So Cameo isn't yeah, it's not really, so that's just big. It would be more if you, once you're at that point of like celebrity status, you can literally like, people can pay for you to send them a message. Like,
That's what
like,
Cameo is?
yeah.
Oh, like you cameo in their life.
Yeah, exactly. So you're like getting like a personalized message.
I
So-
recently saw my friend's daughter's a cheerleader, and she's like 17. I recently saw that she was coached by a Netflix like celebrity who's in like some cheer show,
Oh,
and I wonder if that's what she did.
maybe. Maybe in it.
Like found like that Cameo thing for him, and
Yeah.
he came and like for whatever fee he came and
Oh, that's
coached
so
her.
crazy.
So she got to get coached by a guy that's like Netflix. I had no idea who he was.
Yeah.
That's the other thing. Are you noticing that like pinnacle celebrity, like there's all these mini celebrities now because there's so many different platforms.
No, there are. Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like, it's giving so many more opportunities.
Yeah,
So,
which is exciting.
And then, so the Patreon is more. It's more of like a Facebook or like Instagram like platform in terms of you have to pay a membership fee for a certain tier, and each tier gives you more and more and more depending on how high up you go. So like everybody that's in at the baseline gets access to maybe a song that you've done, and then like the higher the tier, then you add in like behind the scenes material like you guys practicing for a show or like. Yeah, or like things like that, or like as you go up, then it can be like you get like a signed photograph.
Oh, nice.
Then you can you're
Or like
VIP
backstage
access.
passes.
Yes, so
Yeah.
so it's another way to monetize
Man, if
everything.
anyone's been using this
So-
or used it or done this, like
Yeah.
drop some stuff below.
And
It's fascinating.
And it's actually what a lot of cosplay people use. So that's the way that they make their money. Is they put all of their stuff into like a Patreon thing. Like I think it was actually originally made for writers, and so like that was like a way for them to create income. Is you would kind of like drip, like
Are you talking about novel writers?
yeah. So you would like drip like little like pieces of your book,
Oh.
and so they would get like behind the scenes access, the writing process, different things like
a Harry
that.
Potter, like.
Right. So it works great for people that are doing cosplay, people that are writing, people that are artists. So there's so many different things you can do with it now, which is really cool. But it's a great way to
We'll
make
be
income.
looking into that.
Yeah. So it's really cool.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there we go. So it looked like everything that they predicted actually came true.
But we don't know who these smart people were.
We don't know who these smart people. I will find the article and drop it in the link. So, Well, there you
The
go.
teacher in me goes, where are your references?
Right, I know. I promise they're there. I
Did you
promise
make
they're
this
there.
up? Is this real?
All right, ready? All right, here we go. Madonna.
I love it.
Madonna's our fun fact.
Tell me about Madonna. Love
Did
it.
you know-
Material girl, tell me.
Did you know that Madonna used to be a drummer?
No.
So, obviously we know her as a singer, pop,
Icon.
icon,
Yeah.
amazing. But in the 1970s, she was actually the drummer for a band called Breakfast Club.
Did Breakfast Club even come out by then? That was a movie in the 80s, wasn't it?
Right, this had nothing to do with
That
that.
is so
Isn't that
cool.
crazy? So Madonna actually started the Breakfast Club. There we go. Before the movie.
Madonna started things in
Didn't even know it.
She started the fire.
Can you believe that?
That's incredible.
A drummer. I
So
wouldn't
she
know
was, I
that.
didn't, to be sorry, Madonna, I didn't think she was a musical.
No, I didn't either.
Like,
Like,
by
never.
musical, I mean like
Yeah, like, I had no idea she
instrument.
played an
Like,
instrument.
I thought she was just a singer.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with being just a
Performer.
singer, but
No.
yeah, no, that's remarkable.
Yeah, never brought it out. I would have
You
thought.
would think in all those years she'd be on stage and drum at something.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I thought if she really loved it, she would have been like, let me throw in a set, just throw everybody off. Like,
Do you
never.
think she either hated it or she stopped?
Yeah. Or she's like, this is just not for me anymore.
Yeah.
I don't want to bring this in if this
I
isn't
still
make
feel like
sense.
she's such a businesswoman though. Like,
Yeah.
hey, that might still be a place she could go.
Right?
To
That's
create
true.
like a new face for herself. Madonna, are you listening?
You gotta bring back the Breakfast Club. Let's make it
Oh
happen.
my gosh, reunion tour!
Love it.
She get a whole new audience.
She would.
Chick
Oh my god, it would be
drummers,
amazing.
like chick
Yes.
drummers are still like a novelty.
Oh
Like,
my god, it would be amazing.
wow,
Wow.
good.
There we go.
Love it. You're always good for the fun facts.
Always good for it.
Thanks for joining
Thanks,
us.
guys. See you next week.
Cheers.